Welcome everybody to this special edition Let's Play for the month of June of Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. I am Drak, and standing next to me is the Shadow Blazer himself. He's come from the shadows. And then also we have another guest today.
This is Andrea.
Alright, and so now we're going to go ahead and start up this game. Ignore the emulator that I'm using. Sometimes it has some bugs. It kind of acts like an older NES cartridge. Alright, and so we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, personal feelings on this game. Now, a lot of people are expecting us to go all AVGN on this thing, because it just so happens that Simon's Quest is the first ever AVGN review. And so a lot of people think we're just going to hammer at it. I actually don't hate it that much. This game has some flaws, don't get me wrong, but it's fairly good as it stands. But I'm going to let you guys kind of figure out whether or not it is a good game or not. I have actually not cut a whole lot of the gameplay. So a lot of the stuff will stand because I really do want to give both Andrea and Alex a first-time feeling of this game. Now, what are your experiences with it? You probably only just seen the AVGN video.
That's right.
So, the two videos that he did.
Yeah.
One of which was the Absolute Hatred, and then the second video was him doing the Castlevania month and saying he didn't hate the game, he just had problems with it. Mm-hmm. He was just looking for stuff to rage about. Now, Andrea has no experience. She was not on the Castlevania Let's Play. She has watched the Castlevania Let's Play, but this is her first take on it. What do you think so far, hon?
Of the first one or this one?
Both. Now we get to have the wonderful What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse. Which we now have the slow transitions, and now monsters are powerful, or more powerful, because of nighttime. That's because of Simon's Curse on him. Let me go into the plot synopsis, then we'll get back to Andrea a little bit. The premise of the story is, it is after the first Castlevania game. Simon has had a curse placed upon him by Dracula. The only way for him to have the curse broken is for him to resurrect Dracula. And so now he has to go find all the parts of Dracula that have been put into various mansions and reassemble Dracula, so that he can defeat him once again and have the curse taken off of him. With that said, now, again, you were not there for the Castlevania LP. What did you think of that, and then also, what do you think of the game thus far?
It looks okay. I mean, it's just hard to follow the story unless you actually do some research on it.
A little bit. Let's see, so, people might be wondering what the heck I'm doing. For those who have never played this game before, in the first game, where hearts were used to power the sub-weapons, they are now currency. So at that point, you have to gather hearts in order to get upgrades for weapons, to get specific items, etc. So right now, at nighttime, there really isn't anything to do except for go out, look for the mansions that house Dracula's parts, and do farming for hearts. So that's what I'm doing, boys and girls. I'm giving you the authentic Simon's Quest treatment, and you guys get to be part of farming time!
So, it's safe to say this is the original, not the redacted version.
No, this is not the redacted version. I specifically dug this game out because I wanted you two, since this is a blind LP for both of you, to judge it on its own merits, okay? Whether or not the AVGN was absolutely right when he made the Rage video, or whether or not he was right in the second video and saying, okay, it's not bad, but it's got some problems. And a werewolf right now is kicking my butt. Now, another thing that you guys should be aware of, I'm doing this farming for hearts, right? Mm-hmm. There's another problem. If I die, I have 3 lives. If I die and I hit a continue screen, my heart count is reset to 0. So it's very important when you're farming those hearts, if you get like 100 plus hearts and you die 3 times, you're done. You gotta go farm again. Thankfully, I didn't have that happen in this one so much. I remember playing it for the first time and had that happen a lot.
I remember you telling me that, and I thought, that would suck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, you put so much effort into this game, and on top of that, it's not built in with a lithium battery, so you can't save it. It's a password-generated game. I remember me and my older brother playing this game for the first time, and he hated that password system. He hates them. And the morning sun
has vanquished
the horrible night. So now, things are going to be easier, and on top of that, we can actually go back into towns. People might be wondering why I didn't go into towns. There's nothing to do at towns at night, except have zombies attack you. So I might as well just be out here where I can control the monsters. And so now that we've done that, I've actually probably got a decent amount of hearts, and I can get some of the upgrades that I needed to in this town. People might now notice that I'm not naming the towns. Yes, the towns have names. I don't remember them. I don't remember them
Buy
all.
a white crystal?
Yes.
All that, you only have 50 hearts.
No, I have more than that.
Okay.
But that's not the only thing I have to buy.
Holy water?
Holy water, the thing that saves you in this game more than it should. Because you know from the AVGN video, this game likes to play the hidden block puzzle a lot. And so some blocks aren't actually fake. And you can fall through them, which creates more work for you. I will admit, this is one of the things where I say that the AVGN was right. This game creates amazing amounts of busy work.
This is a rest station.
Yeah, this is the church. So at that point, you use churches to heal up your hearts instead of, you know, remember in the first Castlevania where we found wall turkeys, or wall chickens?
Yes.
We just use churches in this game. And this was also the first game to adopt a non-linear style, which was really cool. Or one of the first games. Zelda 2 Adventure of Link also did it. And I'm trying to think, those are the two that come to mind that adopted a non-linear style as their second iteration. And then went back, ultimately, to their roots.
This would remind me of Alex Kidd in a way.
A little bit. But now we have the things that we needed from that town, so now we can go start looking for the mansions. And no, they're not castles, they're mansions. There's only one castle in Transylvania. I hate myself when I walk into water pits, I really do. This is hard to watch and then just smack your head because you did stupid things. Yes, there's only one castle in Transylvania, and that is Castlevania. And, of course, this was also a trope in the other game, so now our hearts have reset. Now they're 0 again. That's okay, because I got all the items I needed. And I don't really need to farm just yet, until I hit the mansion. Okay, so now we're just gonna go ahead and make our way... Oh, by the way, so water hurts you, but apparently you can walk in swamp water.
Really?
Yes, but the swamp water hurts you. Just doesn't kill you. This is actually... Now, people might say this is a complaint. It's not. Water killed you in the first game, too.
Fair enough.
So, at that point, like, they do treat water as a pitfall. For a majority of the games. For some reason, the Belmont clan has never learned to swim.
Like a certain blue hedgehog.
No. Sonic learned to swim, he just forgot how to breathe while swimming.
Okay.
Because then he had to go find the bubbles. These guys just can't swim. Or, I love the other one where some fanfic actually said, no, you can't swim, because the waters of Transylvania are poisoned, and forever will bring you down to the depths of the abyss. And I was like, what?
That makes sense.
Yes, but it's not canon.
I know.
Unfortunately. Konami never adopted that.
Makes sense about as much as anything else in this game.
Pretty much thus far, but it does look good. I mean, it is a good... Uh-oh.
Oh no.
What a horrible night to have a curse! Guess what that means, boys and girls? Either find the mansion or farming time! And in this case, it's farming time.
When did this game come out?
This game came out 1 year after Castlevania 1. And I think that was an 85 release.
Okay.
Actually, hand me my phone really quick and I can look that up. But yes, this came out 1 year later. So, Madden wasn't the only one that was doing it at the time.
I just thought, oh my god, it's Sonic Unleashed 20 years early.
Pretty much.
Really?
Right now, Alex is getting the evil eye from his sister. You really had to go there. Yes, he did. Alright, let's see. I'm actually having to look at this while Facebook gives me warnings, because,
You could play the Monster Mash music.
The Monster Mash. Except that's copyrighted, so we can't do it.
Yeah, I know.
So it's my happy
Here's
birthday
the thing, too. That's actually one of the things I want to ask Alex, because you were one of the people to note the first game's music wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Okay? What do you think of this music?
It's alright. I don't know, is it gonna go beyond, like, the two themes we've heard already?
More like 3 or 4 tunes.
Okay.
So, this is kind of the nighttime, the daytime. Actually, believe it or not, the daytime theme has become a staple in Castlevania. A lot of people love that song. I'm one of them. I think it was really well done. I just don't like the night music.
Wasn't this da-da-da-da-da-da? Wasn't that the death music in the original?
No.
Okay.
Maybe an inspiration, but no. This whole tune is its own thing. Okay, so for the NES, this was released December 1st, 1988. So 1987 was when Castlevania released. So you would have been, let's see, you would have been 4 or 5, and then
87, I wasn't even born yet.
You weren't born.
I was put a twinkle in
so
my parents' eye.
somehow you escaped the badness that was Simon's Quest.
Yes.
And the other thing to also note is the colors. Obviously, the colors aren't very good in this game. They like to do a lot of blacks and reds, and it contrasts really bad at some points.
Well, it makes you kind of think of back in the day when these kind of games came out and you think these are the greatest games and you never heard of any of the most recent consoles that came out.
Well, here's the thing, is that this is one of those debated games, because a lot of people hate it because it took the different styles and that hurt it. Another thing that this game did was it adopted RPG mechanics, so you can technically level up and up your stats, but through hearts. And so a lot of people gave crap to this game for doing that, even though years later Castlevania re-adopted them and did it right. But we're okay now, because the morning sun has vanquished the horrible night. Now, I know some guy who's watching this is just like, why did you leave this up? Because it gives the experience, guys. For Andrew and Alex, this is brand spanking new, and that's what I wanted. Okay, so now we are done farming. We're actually going to do one more run and go downstairs. And trust me, we haven't even gotten in some of the worst parts of this yet. So, more is yet to come. Mwahaha. This is indeed a curse upon Konami, as well as to the player. And this is probably of the 3 games that came out for the NES, this is the black sheep of them. The other 2 are really well done and acclaimed for their goodness on the NES. It's just this one that stands out, because it's just like Zelda 2, Adventure Link. You played that, Andrea, so you can attest that it was such a change from the original Zelda game that it just kind of made you go, is this really the right direction to go, kind of thing?
I don't know, I thought maybe it was a whole different way of, they say, let's try it this way.
That's really what it was. They were trying to experiment. They wanted this franchise to last. They wanted to make another success like Castlevania. And I think I'm still farming because I'm trying to afford stuff in the next town. That's the first part of this game. In order to do well in the mansions, you do need some items first. As soon as you have them, it's not so bad. I'm trying to remember. I think this is called Bloody Tears. And it's one of the most adapted Castlevania songs.
So how much are the hearts worth then?
I was never actually able, like I tried to in my run through it, tried to ascertain the actual values of each heart. It's hard to tell, because I think day and night change it, as well as where you're at in the game. See, there you go. That's your kind of leveling up aspect. Is your energy bar goes up a little bit more. And now we're going downstairs.
Yay!
We're done farming.
Yeah,
Well,
if
it
we
would
wanted to
seem
watch
like-
farming, we could have played Harvest Moon.
Yeah, exactly. Or Metroid. Metroid involved a lot of farming.
Well, it would seem like the full hearts may be worth like 2 or something, and the half hearts are maybe worth 1. I don't know.
Could be. But it gets weirder as we go along.
Why are you throwing those away?
That's why. I was waiting for you guys to notice. I'm looking for false blocks.
Will you buy a dagger?
Yes, I will buy a dagger. So instead of actually earning the sub-weapons in the dungeons, you buy them now. And there are upgraded sub-weapons, so you can get a white dagger and eventually a silver dagger, which we won't get. Sorry guys, there's no point. Alright, and I don't need the church right now, because I'm full on health. Because I leveled up! Yay!
Yay!
I can play video games, I'm smart! Okay, so we're actually going to go into this door after I sit here and ponder why I'm playing this game again. I'm not sure what's going on here, but... here we go. So, again, another... Oh, there you go! False tiles. And this happens a lot in villages, guys, so... It was one of those weird things of why did Konami had to be so secretive about things. Purchase a chain whip. Yes. Oh, actually, no, we won't, because there's no reason to get it. We can get one, a better one, later. And Alex is kind of giving me that look of, well, you're here, why not just get it? Trust me, because that's gonna happen! What a horrible night. Yes, it can affect you in the villages, too. And now you guys get to see why you don't go into the villages. First of all, everything's closed. And these things are a pain to kill.
I can see why.
And you have no control over them whatsoever.
Oh no, bats.
I know, our forever vigilant vigilant enemy, and for some reason, what I look like in real life, according to Chrono Arcale. I get it, Chrono. It's a Draki. Ha 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 ha. I'm kidding. We don't hate you that much. You could have made me look like frickin' Draco Lord, Chrono. I'm just saying. You could have made me look like Draco Lord. Because now I'm playing the Dragon Warrior games. If I don't start actually saying stuff I'm learning from them, people might actually murder me in my sleep.
Well, so did you play this as a kid or your older brother?
Both of us. Both of us. So, at that time, I wasn't really into games aside from Mario, because Mario was easy to learn. It was games like this that my brother Kenzie would take on, and at that point, kick butt in, and so we'd be cheering him on, kind of thing. This was a couple of games, like the Final Fantasy games at the time. We would do that. When he would take on the Ultra games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We still need to find that photo of him beating the game. And Simon's Quest. And this is actually... So, fun story. Again, my brother did not like the password system. So when he was playing this game, he would leave the NES on wherever he went. Mm-hmm. This annoyed my parents to such a great extent. Because it was wasting... So he had like... I think it was like 5 or 6 lectured on wasting power. Mm-hmm. But he then pointed out to them, I don't like doing the password system. And they said, well, tough cookies. So he always tried to like secretly have the NES on so that he could finish this without putting in passwords. Because this is one of those games where the passwords are horrendously long.
Right.
So...
Isn't that kind of like how Wonder Boy 3, Alex?
Yeah.
Where you had that passwords to...
Yeah, they had long passwords in Wonder Boy 3.
Yeah, Simon's Quest, I think, has like one of those passwords where you have 4 lines of 8 characters. That kind of a password, and it's just pointless. They should have just put a lithium battery in the thing. And even Konami's admitted that later. They should have just paid for the lithium battery and just allowed their players to save. But at that point, only Nintendo and certain other companies were putting in lithium batteries. Like Square. Gee, I wonder if they did well. Or Enix. Oh yay!
Morning sun.
The morning sun has vanquished the horrible night! See, I'm starting to see Alex and Andrea, like, cheering when they see that text box come up. That's where you are in this game! Alright, so now things are super easy. We have an absurd amount. Oh, and actually, I might get the chain whip this time. Oh! It's the thorn whip I'm not supposed to get. That's right. I don't get the thorn whip because there's no point in getting it. It's such a minor upgrade. Because at that point, like, you get an option for a minor upgrade whip or the best whip in the game for about the same amount of hearts. So what are you gonna go and do, Andrea? Are you gonna go get a minor upgrade or go get the best whip in the freaking game for the same amount of hearts?
Well, I would think I would get the best one.
Yeah!
But of course.
But of course. Alright, so let's go ahead and get ourselves a chain whip. And of course, everything is secretive in this one. People will also notice I'm not talking to people. There's no reason to talk to people. They don't help with the story of the game. I don't even think of the redacted version they do.
They do in the redacted version.
They do a little bit. Give you some tips in the game, but in this one, they were not a help at all. They were as helpful as in Zelda 2 with the guy saying, I am error. Now that we have our wonderful chain whip, we're going to stand in the middle of town and show off our chain whip. Yeah, check me out. I'm Simon Belmont. Alright. And I don't like water. Okay, so now I think we have enough to go and take on the first mansion that has a part of Dracula. I just noticed that the skeletons are kind of pink like the poison water. I wonder what killed them. Makes you think.
Yes.
Maybe Amy Rose was here.
Dang you, Amy Rose! You're wanting to be a girly girl, killed those skeletons! And had to make Simon Belmont travel all the way out here to kill them. And here is our first mansion. I don't know the name of it. Please, Castlevania fans, don't ask me what the name is for it.
If they're Castlevania fans, they'll probably tell you what the
They
name
probably
is.
will, and you can, and I don't care.
And they'd be
It's-
like, you call yourself a Castlevania fan?
They can do that all they want, but I'm a Castlevania fan. As you'll find out later. Okay, so here's the third music song. The third song in the soundtrack. And right now I'm trying to figure out what is going on, because Camera's game bugged out on me. Not really. And people might notice a lot of these points where I'm just kind of frozen there. I'm actually consulting a guy. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? I didn't mean to break it. Okay, I actually know what I need to do, and there we go. I have to equip the white crystal, which allows me to see the elevator.
Which have dollar signs on them.
Apparently.
In fact, all the bricks seem to
We
have
are
dollar signs.
freaking Scrooge McDuck right now. Alright. So at this point, you notice that I'm being a little careful. False tiles happen a lot in mansions.
What happens if you step on one?
You fall.
Fall, and possibly even to your death sometimes. This is another thing that this game kind of falters from, is the level design is kinda iffy. There are some points where you can actually, and I think James Rolfe showed it off, you could fall from 3 floors right into a thing of water. But that was just because the developers didn't think about that. Like, oh, we didn't notice that we did that.
Those knights look funny.
They do indeed.
They look like they're doing the moonwalk.
That's because they are. It's Thriller Nights.
Now let's play Moonwalker.
No! Especially, dude, there are so many things wrong with Moonwalker, especially now, in the latter years of Michael Jackson's life. Okay, now people might notice I'm being a little careless. But now, oh look, false tile, right there. And I'm gathering hearts because I'm still going to need them in here. Oh look, there's a random old man in here. I wonder what he's doing here, in the middle of all these skeletons. We'll see in a second. See, I like the music.
Yeah, it's good music.
The night music's the one that I don't like, but and the village music I don't like that much, but the mansions aren't that bad. Okay. Would you like to invest in an oak stake? Yes, we would! You will find out why in a second. Oh, look, another vampire reference. And this is actually going to be the end of part 1, so stick with us next week as we continue on in Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest.